Let me guess, you clicked on this video because you've heard every other guru out there say, find your niche. You need to niche down. You can't make money unless you have a proper niche. Someone keep count of how many times I'm gonna say niche in this video. But yeah, you're probably sitting there thinking, well, I don't have a specific niche, or I don't know how to niche down. And you're probably wondering whether you actually need a niche. And I know some of you might be putting off starting that blog or starting that YouTube channel because you don't have a niche, you don't know what you want to talk about, and you kind of have maybe all of these ideas in your head, and you feel like, you know, you have multiple passions, multiple things you would like to talk about, and you don't know how to narrow it down. You don't know if you need to narrow it down even more. That's what we're here for today. I am going to walk you through exactly what you need to know about niching down, whether it's still needed, whether you do need that niche, whether you can still make it without having a specific niche. So let's dive right in. So is a niche still necessary? This is something that a lot of people ask. I've actually had conversations with people, with my students on this. So the answer is yes and no. It does help in some ways. It can help you grow faster. It can help you have kind of a more focused, focused effort on your work, but it's not the end all be all. And I know when people say niche down or find your niche, it can be so confusing. So I'm gonna give you in this video the 3 options that you have when it comes to your niche, because it doesn't have to be such a strict thing. It doesn't have to be this one thing that you always talk about, because actually having just one topic that you talk about all the time, it can make you get in a rut, it can make you feel stressed out, it can make you burn out really easily, and that's not what we want. Because if you tell yourself, I'm only going to talk about this one thing, and then you start creating content on it, and 2 months in you're like, I don't know what else I can talk about on this topic, and you just get frustrated and burned out, then you're just not going to create anymore, and that's very counterproductive, isn't it? Especially when you're trying to grow an online business from this, because most likely you're not just creating content for the sake of it. You're creating content because you want to grow an online business, you want to make money from this. I mean, a lot of people want to do this, don't they? Yes, having a niche or a few topics that you talk about can help the algorithm, which we're gonna talk about in a second as well. You might be wondering whether you need to niche down further. Maybe you already have a few topics that you want to talk about, but you're not sure if it's specific enough. Or you might be wondering if you niche down too much and not a lot of people find you, because that's an option too. That can happen. If you have a niche that's so narrow, maybe not a lot of people will actually be interested in that. So there needs to be a balance in between these two, and the 3 options that I'm going to give you are going to help with that. So what are these 3 options? How can you actually niche? How can you find that, that thing you want to create content on, so that you can grow faster, so that you can, build that audience and make that money online? Here are the 3 options that you have. Number 1, if you already have your topic in mind, you're probably not even watching this video, to be honest, because you already know your niche, but you might be wondering if it is right, if you're doing it right. But you can be super niche. So you have a topic, you have something specific you want to talk about, something you're super passionate about, and you just want to talk about that. That's great, that works. It can work well with the algorithm, it can help you grow. So that's your first option if you already have, kind of that thing in mind. If you don't, your second option is to have 3 to 5 topics maybe that you want to talk about. If they are related, if they kind of go together well, if maybe the same type of person would want to watch or consume all of those topics together, then that's a great niche to go for. It doesn't have to be so strict. It doesn't have to be just one thing. Let's say you have a mom blog. You feel like maybe you should only post about babies or toddlers, and then if you post anything else, that's gonna hurt you in the algorithm, and that's not true. If you think about it, your audience is going to be moms like yourself, right? So think about the moms and what they might need. So they might need baby tips and toddler tips, but they might also need really quick meal recipes because they are busy moms. They might need some productivity tips because, again, they are busy and they are trying to do all of these things. They might need cleaning their home tips. They might need, home decor tips. If you think about it, they are all kind of related. So even though you feel like, oh, I don't have a niche, so I'm not sure if I'm doing this right, but you do have those 3 to 5 topics that are kind of connected. So that's another option you can go for. And then the third option, if you feel like you have no idea what topic you want to pick, then just think about your target audience. So pick a target audience. Pick someone, one person that you want to talk to. And there are ways that you can do research on this online. You can go to forums, you can go to Facebook groups and kind of read about these, these people and what they're saying in those groups, in the comments of other YouTube channels on that topic, and see what they struggle with, see where they are right now, where they would like to be, and how you can help them with that within your content. So having a person in mind is really, really helpful. It is honestly perfectly okay to start broad, to not know your niche, and to narrow it down in time, or to just find what works for you in time, because a lot of people will get really bogged down into this. They'll get really stuck into this kind of overthinking of their niche, what they should blog about, and they never even get started, or they blog a few things, they feel like they don't have it right and they just quit. And honestly, it's so important to keep going and to keep testing different things, even if they're not super specific, super niche down, because I feel like that concept of niching down is so stressful, to be honest. Let me know if you feel the same. Raise your hand in the comments below if you feel the same way. But it can be really stressful to do that. And I am giving you permission to just go and start broad and narrow it down in time, because that's how I did it, that's how I started, and it's perfectly fine to do that. You don't have to follow the path that everyone else follows. You can follow your own path. So yeah, rather than overthinking it for another year, thinking, well, what should I even blog about? I don't know if I'm picking the right topics. I don't know if I'm niche down enough, because this guru said I need to niche down even further. Rather than overcomplicating things, just take that messy action, that huge messy action consistently, and then you will find what works for you. If you find that certain topics start to kind of bloom on your YouTube channel, on your blog, whatever it might be, maybe you will want to focus a bit more on those, and that's okay too. But don't feel like you have to put yourself in this box and this box only to create content only on these topics in order to be successful, because you can be successful even if you don't have a specific niche. There are so many people out there who do this without having a specific niche, whether that's on Instagram, on YouTube, on a blog. My blog is not very specific. I have blog posts on different topics, so if you go to my blog, you will notice that I have blogging tips and social media tips, I have motherhood tips, I have fashion, outfit ideas. So it's not a specific, super specific niche, and it still works. I still get traffic to all of those different categories because they are kind of related to that same target audience that I'm trying to reach. And in case we haven't met already, I am 10 minutes in and I'm only introducing myself now, but I'm Madeline and I am a full-time blogger at cappuccinoandfashion.com. So yes, you can do this even if you don't have a specific niche in mind. I actually started super broad. I didn't know what I wanted to do, to be honest. I was all over the place on all these different platforms, and it didn't matter. I still managed to make all of this money. Yes, maybe you could get there faster if you have a super specific niche that you only talk about that, but you could also lose interest and lose that passion and make you not want to pursue this anymore. So it really needs to be a balance. And speaking of blogging, you do not need to have such a specific niche. You can have a lifestyle-based blog. Actually, I feel like blogs are more kind of like a magazine, like an article-based one. And a lot of people say Google will favor you, your SEO will be better if everything is on the same topic. But actually, I feel like you can have different categories on the same blog that are all connected, under the same tags, under the same categories, and that will still work with Google. Like, Google is pretty smart. A lot of people are not just one-sided on one topic. A lot of people have these different passions and different things they want to talk about, and Google is smart enough to know that. It's not an old school algorithm anymore. And for example, on my blog, as I said, I have different topics that I talk about. I actually have a lot of them ranking in Google on different topics. So I have some motherhood posts ranking, I have some fashion posts ranking, I have some blogging posts like social media tips ones ranking. So I don't feel like Google will only work if you have this one specific topic. When it comes to niching down on Instagram, same thing. And I feel like on Instagram even more so, people follow you, because of your own kind of personal brand. And while yes, it can help in the algorithm on Instagram to have things under a specific topic, it doesn't need to be like that. And on Instagram, I would highly recommend creating your feed content. So whether that's reels, posts, just create them on topics that your target audience again is interested in. So doing that research on your audience is really, really important for this. And I talk about this in a few other videos as well. But I do think on Instagram stories, you can definitely be a bit more lenient. You can share more behind the scenes and really think about how your target audience can relate to you better through what you put on your Instagram stories. But yes, on Instagram, they will most likely follow you for that kind of personality and the unique vibe that you have in your content on Instagram. And then when it comes down to YouTube, I do think it's a good idea to have a few topics that you cover, as we mentioned, and again, have that target audience so that you know who you are talking to. For me, for example, on here, you might notice that I have a few tips on Instagram, a few tips on YouTube, on blogging, and that's because my target audience is entrepreneurs or content creators or influencers who want to make this a profitable online business, and they need tips on blogging and social media to do this, because most people will not just be on one platform. Most people won't just be on YouTube or just a blog. They will likely have a few other platforms that they work with, and that's why I create content on all of these different topics. So again, knowing that person that you're talking to, that you're trying to help, is going to be super helpful for yourself as well. And one thing that's really important on YouTube is to kind of try to ride the wave. If you feel like one of your topics or one of your videos is kind of picking up, it's doing really well, then try to focus a bit on that for the next few weeks, for the next month or two. Just create more content on that topic, because then YouTube, the algorithm, will pick it up and will kind of recommend your video to more people who are interested in that same topic, if that makes sense. So kind of ride the wave, go along with it, and then go back to your other topics as well after you feel like the wave is kind of starting to, stagnate. So for example, at the moment on this YouTube channel, because I noticed that one of my previous videos that I did on blogging, it was how to write a blog post really fast, like 3,000 words in 1 hour. I will link it down below if you're interested. That got picked up by the YouTube algorithm, and it's also doing really well in search too. So what I did is I created more content on blogging. So if you look back at my previous videos, I did a lot of topics on blogging. But then a few weeks from now, I might create more content on YouTube, because actually I've gotten a lot of questions on YouTube growth as well from you guys. If you have any more, leave them in the comments and I will, create more videos on that. But yeah, to sum it up today, you do not need a specific niche. You don't need to put yourself in a box and stress yourself out. Just get started. Start broad if you have to, and narrow it down in time. Find the topics in time, because honestly, trying and experimenting is the only way you're going to find that profitable niche for yourself. So yeah, go out there and create the content, and I'm excited for you. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys!